Welcome to Unabashed You, Joanna. It is so good to see you. You are a sight for sore eyes. Joanna and I know each other in real life. Many years ago, we worked together, became friends. I'm friends with her sister Priscilla, who's been on the show before. Welcome.
Thanks, Rochelle. It's so good to see you.
It's
It's
so
been a
good to
very long time.
It has, and it is. I mean, I told you before we even started, my heart already feels full. Just seeing you makes me so happy. Is there anything you want listeners to know about you as we get started here?
Um, Anything that I want people to know? There's not much to know about me. I have two children. I am married. I am here in Los Angeles. That's the only things I can think of right now off the top of my
Okay,
head.
there you go. We got the basics. Perfect. What three words would you use to describe yourself today?
Okay. I still need to think about this one. I actually asked this question to Ezra, my son, who's 7, last night, and his 3 words to describe me, off the top of his head last night were annoying, big butt, and beautiful. So he ended with
What?
beautiful. So I'm gonna hold on to the beautiful part and
Yes,
skip on
please.
the other 2. Um,
Oh,
but I would say beautiful for sure. Um,
God.
I would say anxious, um, a lot, and then vulnerable maybe, or
Well,
I try to be.
that's a good word because it shows that you want to be yourself. I mean, when
Yeah,
we're vulnerable, we want to show up as ourselves and we take that little risk to do it. And sometimes a big risk, but a little risk to sort of do it. Okay.
yeah,
I like those words for you. Of course, I'm not
yeah.
as thrilled with the anxious part, but I
Yeah, yeah,
understand
yeah.
because as someone who's dealt with anxiety myself, I think we all have it. It's just a matter of degree. So,
Right, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. What's something you've been watching lately?
Okay. Something I've been watching lately, over and over again, probably for the past year, um, which probably means I have some type of mental illness there.
Oh, God.
Um, but Vanderpump Rules, it's a reality show on Bravo, and it basically follows these servers in LA around, and there's 11 seasons. I can't recommend it enough to everyone that I meet. Um, it's just everything that you want in a good reality show. It's the perfect amount of trashy. It's funny, it's emotional. But yeah, I don't know why, but that's kind of been my show that I've been watching like over and over again
Okay,
this
when you say
last
over
year.
and over, do you go
Yeah.
all the way through and you start back over again? Is that
Yes,
what
I
you
do.
mean by over and over again? Okay.
Yes, I do. And there's 11 seasons. But I do tell people it's a good show to just kind of put on, and you don't really have to pay too much attention to it.
Okay.
You kind of like do other things while it's on TV, but then you just start getting sucked in because so much happens and it's so entertaining. Yeah.
And you obviously know what happens since
Oh,
you
I
watch it
do.
but you probably catch different things every time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I love it. I love it so much. And my sister and my husband probably judge me a lot
Oh,
for how
God.
much I love it, but I don't care.
Right, there you go. Yeah, you get to like what you like. That's yeah.
Right.
And it satisfies something in you, which is, the emotional, the trashy, the
Right.
funny, and that's why we want to be entertained. And so if
Hmm.
you find that entertaining, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at
Thank
all.
you. Thank
I mean,
you.
I tend to rewatch things like Seinfeld. Uh,
Yes.
what's another one
Yeah.
I watch? New Adventures of Old Christine. I mean, these are just ones that
Um,
I watch over, but the same thing. I couldn't even count how many times I've been through Seinfeld.
Right,
King of
exactly.
Queens, same. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good show too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I should watch that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
fun. Just fun. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Joe, we're going to take our deep dive and
Okay.
I invited people that I felt fit the heading of Spicy Christian Women becoming all that and a bag of chips, which I would consider definitely you right in that category. So let's talk about that a little bit. Do you consider yourself brave, confident, spicy, all that?
No. Um, um, yeah, I don't consider myself any of those things really, but
Okay.
I like to tell myself uh, to be those things or try to. So I definitely think it's an inward battle with myself to be more confident, be more brave, um, and just be more honest. Yeah, on a lot of things in my life, a lot of my thoughts that I have. Yeah. So I think it's an inward struggle that I always have with myself to just be more brave.
Well, and I think that, like you said, that's really honest because I think, I think so many of these words are on like a continuum. There's not just either or, it's not black or white, there's all
Yeah.
that gray. And I would say that I see you as these things. So, and we work together. That's part of the beginning of the capacity we had in meeting each other in real life. And I think you are those things. And I think it is an inward struggle for you to see that you are those things. So, and that's
Yeah.
the
Mm.
beauty of sort of being here is that um, we get to work to be more of the things we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think it's just something I'm definitely working on within myself. Um, is to look at myself in a more positive way, and to not be so, like, hard on myself.
Right.
Um, but aren't we all?
Yes, and I think women in particular, because I am a woman and I
Yeah.
can't speak to the male side of things, I think that
Yeah.
we do struggle with that for sure. And
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this series is to be inspiring and inspirational, having all these incredible women on like yourself and have these conversations. And I hope it sparks and ignites something in listeners.
Yeah. Mhm.
So let's pivot just a little bit. Joe, why do you choose to have faith?
Yeah. Um, I really love this question. I think this is something I think about a lot, like, lately in the last couple years. Um, I don't know. I think for me, I grew up in a very Christian conservative household. So I grew up knowing about God and having faith at a young age. And then I think, like, many Christians who grow up in a similar household like that, you grow up, you leave home, and you either, like, stick with it or you completely abandon it. And I think I've had my years where I've, like, questioned my faith and questioned if God is real. And I think, like, I've come to a place where it's like, I just can't let go of my faith. I can't, like, I think, and I think I need to believe in God for myself. And I say that in a positive way that I don't know if that sounds, like, negative or, like,
Oh,
to say, like, I
no.
have to, but I think for me, I have questioned my faith, especially in today's society. I think there's a lot of Christianity, at least that I see right now in America. It it has broken my heart a lot, and that has
Mhm.
made me question a lot of my faith as well. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it's like I do come back to God and I do come back to Jesus. And regardless of what I see on TV, what I see in the news, like I know who God is to me. And I don't think I could ever abandon that, you
Right,
know?
right.
And I think it's because I feel like he has never abandoned me. Um, yeah, I've been reading this book that I really love, and I like found this quote. It's Mostly What God Does by Savannah Guthrie. It's a really great book, and I would recommend it to everyone.
Okay.
Um, but there's this quote that I found in this book that I wanted to read that has always stuck with me, on a chapter that talked about faith. And it
Yes.
says, faith does not and cannot explain why the innocent are allowed to suffer. It simply gives us hope that there is a place and time when that suffering will end.
Ah,
And yeah, and I think that quote has really stuck with me because I think the last couple of years too, I've had a few conversations with friends who don't believe in God, who have, asked me like, why do you, believe in God when this and this and this happens? Like when people suffer and when you see horrible things happen in the world, and why do you still choose to have faith in a being? Um, and I think that quote is a perfect description where, it doesn't, having faith doesn't mean you have all these answers to why things happen, but it does mean that you can see an end to all the suffering,
ah.
and I think that's how faith has felt for me in the last couple years,
Ooh.
where, throughout all the chaos, I can still find peace um in Jesus, and I think that is what keeps me believing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gosh, you just really, I don't want to just say explained it, but you shared that in such a clear way. And I really am, I'm very inspired by how you expressed all of that. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Rochelle.
you. No, I
Yeah.
really, that's really absolutely incredible. And I love having a little book recommendation right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, I really, this book has gotten me through a lot of really hard times, and I love it so much. I watched the Today Show, and I love a lot of the anchors, and I love Savannah Guthrie. But yeah, I don't know when she put out this book. I think sometime last year, the year before, but
Okay.
I've had it for a couple of years, but I think I really started kind of getting into it this year.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just, it kind of just talks a lot about her story, but then also, how God has been in her life. And I think it's been a good reminder for me of like
Hmm.
why my faith is still there.
Right. That's beautiful. And I appreciate also the nod to Christianity today and how um, parts of it don't really seem to look and sound and act like Jesus. So some of us are like, whoa, wait a minute, what? That's
Yeah.
that's why a lot of times I will say, if I identify as Christian, I'll say, but not that kind, not that kind. I'm
Yes.
very quick to add that because I don't want to be lumped in a category that doesn't look,
Hmm.
act, feel, sound like the Jesus I read about.
Yeah. And I have that. It's funny that you say that because I say the exact same thing when I talk about things like this, where it almost makes me sad now that it's like we even have to say that, to say like, oh, I'm a Christian, but not that kind of Christian,
Right, right.
and I don't know. I think like sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to say that I'm a Christian. I just want to say that I do believe in God and I believe in Jesus,
Yes.
and
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Right. You almost feel like you don't want to use that word because of how it's been used. And sometimes they'll say, well, I'm a woman of faith. And if they
Yeah,
want
I
to know
like
what
that.
if they want to know what kind of faith, then I can I can chat about that a little more. But that to me,
Yeah.
that kind of covers it. So wow, yeah, it is heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. How does God speak to you? Do you feel like there's a particular way because I feel like he knows how to speak to everybody, right? And whether we're
Yeah.
paying attention or not. So how does he speak to you?
I think lately, my I think the way that God has spoken to me recently has really been through prayer.
Okay.
Um, and and I know that's just how God speaks, and you speak to God too, but I think specifically for me lately, it's been through prayer because I think I've been more intentional in
Mm,
how I pray, in this last year. Um, Meaning setting aside time for myself in the mornings. Um, when I'm at home and I'm able to just make my coffee, read a devotional. Um, I've been trying to really like turn things off in the morning where I'm literally just focusing on listening to some good worship music and then just really focusing on talking to God. And I think that's not something I've done in a long time.
okay.
And so I think, yeah, lately, I really feel like God has spoken to me through my time that I spend with Him when I talk to Him and when I pray to Him in the mornings.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. What's okay? So you just shared with us a quote. Is that because one of my thoughts was one of your favorite faith-based quotes? Is that the quote you shared, or do you have another one you want to share?
Yeah, I really liked that there's so many quotes honestly in this book that I love so much. But I had a really good quote this morning that like kind of sat with me. I was reading my devotional this morning and it was talking about the verse, what is the verse? It's, oh, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior, Judges 6, verse 12. And the devotional is basically talking about, Gideon and his story and how he was preparing for this big battle and he had never fought a battle before at this point. But God was speaking to him, already calling him a mighty warrior before he had even fought a battle. And I really liked this part of the devotional where it said it was never about becoming the most skilled or confident. It was always about trusting that God was faithful and able to work through him. And God has proven that again and again. Um, yeah, and I really liked that because I think something that I've been working through this year is I think I mentioned this before was the way I view myself and the way I talk about myself. And, it's very easy for me to like say, like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not qualified to do that. And so I think that devotional this morning kind of hit me because it was like, doesn't matter if I'm qualified or not. If God calls me to something, then it's going to happen and it's going to be great and it's going to work out. It doesn't matter what I think of myself and if I think I can or cannot do something. If God is calling me to that thing, then He's going to make it happen and He's going to equip me with everything that I need to get the job done.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And I've heard it said, let's see, how did this go? He doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called.
Oh, I like that. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't
I
see.
like that a lot.
He doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. Yeah, so yeah,
Mm.
just it's exactly what you're talking about. And I think that, I mean, it doesn't really make sense in a way for him to call the people that are already good at all the things, because then that's, then
Yeah.
how is that trusting? How is that faith? How is that,
Mhm.
how is that, it just doesn't really make sense. It's kind of illogical
Yeah,
in a way. So yeah,
right.
yeah, because then it's like, well, that was me because I'm so good at this and that.
Yeah.
Whereas no, that it had to be him because I don't know how to do that. Has to be him.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a really good point. Is there anything in conclusion you feel like you didn't get to say that you want to say?
No. I think,
And that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, no wrong answers here. No wrong answers. Where can people find you if you want to be found?
So my home address is no, I was kidding.
Oh my
That's a
gosh,
joke.
Joe,
Were
that's
you
a good
about to let
joke.
me just say
I
it?
was like, oh my gosh, I hope this is a joke. She better not be giving her. I'm going to have to cut this out, which I've never had to do, but I would do it. A good one,
No.
good one.
I guess people can find me on Instagram if they want to find me. Um, but you don't have to look for me. But my name is, yeah, Joanna Mayo, and I'm private on Instagram.
Right. So they would have to ask for a request and then yes, then
Right.
that's fine. And that's fine. And you can say yes, you can say no. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
just
kind of
nice.
like that. I have
Yeah,
power.
well, of course. Yes, yes. Yeah, so thank you for that. And Joe, wow. Just wow. I feel verklempt. I feel teary just at how joyous and happy it
Ew.
is to see you and have this conversation. Thank you so much for your faith and thank you for being exactly who you are.
Thanks, Rochelle.